Hello and good afternoon from the DP World Wanderers Stadium, where the match between the hosts Lions against the Goldrush, visiting Goldrush Boland team, about to get underway. And as you may have watched or seen earlier, it was the captain of Lions, Mitch van Buren, who won the toss and elected to bowl, which clearly wasn't any surprise to anyone who has actually had a closer look at the pitch. A rich covering of grass on it, there's a tinge of green as well, but I've been promised by the groundsman that he's been rolling very hard and it should play true throughout the afternoon. So an interesting start in that the Lions, and we'll give you the teams as soon as they are available, have got 4 debutants. I don't think this has happened before. It may be a historic occasion, of course, and the other point to make is that the Boland team have come through up here with a wonderful win. They scored against Northwest just 2 nights back, and they certainly will be cock-a-hoop with a wonderful win, given that it was a very, very low scoring match and they were able to defend it. And the Lions, of course, get their season off. They'll be looking to defend not just this the title that they won last year, but 2 seasons in a row. And they've got everything to play for. A very bold selection move they've certainly made early in the season. And having had 4 debutants, we'll get to that in a short while. 2 batsmen out in the middle. Glade Capel. I'll see in a moment who his opposite number is. So to start off proceedings, it is indeed Bayes Swanepoel. Well, that's an aborted run. 1 slip in position. I'm sure they'll have an early look as to exactly what this pitch will do. He's around the wicket to the left-handed Capel. Well, interesting. The first ball, and immediately at the Wanderers, as you would have noted by now, good carry through. With me for the first 6 overs, I'd like to say welcome to Johan Smith.
Good afternoon, Aslam. Wonderful to be here. Good start from Bayes Swanepoel. Joined the Lions this season.
Oh, and what a way to start. Ball pitched up on around leg stump. Capel looks to turn this to the leg side. And I'm sure it's come off the upper part of his bat. It held up that much more on the pitch. And that's the first wicket that has fallen with just 2 balls into the match.
Yeah, just cramped him for room there by Swanepoel attacking. He'll be much pleased with that start. Well, the man who joined from the Warriors spent his university career at the University of Free State at Bayes Swanepoel.
We'll get to see that in a moment.
Get to see who's the man stationed at.
On that first morning, and he's certainly enjoying his time here at the Wanderers already.
His key to Bayes Swanepoel's bowling. During his spell at the Warriors, he picked up a couple of Ks in pace as well.
So the new batsman in, Clyde Fortin, the 4.
Just getting a bit too eager there by Swanepoel, looking for that shape away from the right-hander. Straying, just starting off too straight, and as you see so many times, the swing then just doesn't come. But it was neatly played by Clyde Fortin.
Oh, that one's come back and it's bounced quite a bit into the body of Fortin. So just a quick reminder from the bowler that you're facing me at the Wanderers, and it's not going to be that easy.
Aslam, Swanepoel would have made this move up to Johannesburg with national honours in mind. Spent 3 seasons at the Warriors after a stint at Northern Cape as well.
Ball jags back somewhat and given out. It was on the fuller length. Fortin not happy with that decision. The umpire took his time, had a careful look, and clearly he was asking, even with the ball moving, would that have hit? The answer was yes. The finger has gone up. 5 on song.
Had a good old chat there with the umpire at Clyde Fortin. Not always the smartest thing to do. That one jagging back from Bayer Swanepoel. Second one in a row. Got appreciable sea movement. And Fortuin would be asking the question, would that have gone on to hit the stumps? There's a lot of bounce around as well. Movement back into Fortuin. Swanepoel was convinced, as was the umpire.
Well, it's, 5 deliveries into the match, and we've seen 5 different types of deliveries. But this one was pitched up just that much more on that line outside the... The new batsman in Leon Botha.
Leon Botha captained Marties during his university career.
Here in Johannesburg. Just trying to hold it back, trying to find that fuller length, angling down the leg side. You'll need to just, this is T20 cricket, and bowlers obviously know from the time they've been given the instruction, we're bowling first, you already get your mindset to make sure that there's no loose deliveries. And I'm hoping that our cameramen and our directors listening, because there's a new rule for the wide ball in T20 cricket. For those keen observers, you will notice that there's the red lines and also the blue lines once we get in line with the camera. And apparently this has been a suggestion from the MCC committee, of which Sean Pollock is a member. And to give some semblance of fairness to bowlers, they asked domestic cricket leagues around the world again, angling down the leg side. This time it's very nicely played by Kaplan. And they run through for 2.
Delano Potgieter just overcorrecting after that first one was full and wide and played out to the offside sweeper. Just drifting next up is what you describe as gentle medium pace. Delano Potgieter taking the new ball with Bayer Swanepoel. Brilliant red ball season thus far for Potgieter, especially with a bat in hand. Aslam, it's Leon Botha, the man on strike, he's going to have to deal with that, and it's something top order batters don't often deal with. The bowlers attacking the stumps. They're so used to practicing on that 4th stump line, batters as well.
That's better, no second slip. That'll run away to that vacant 3rd man area, and they'll take those runs as they come, because they're in quite a bit of trouble already at the end of 2 overs, 12 for 2.
That final ball would have been mis-executed by Delano Potgieter. Wasn't convincingly played by any stretch of the imagination. Also not wanting to give them that room. During his playing days at the University of the Free State, he spent 18 months living in my house, Bayer Swanepoel.
You could tell us a lot about Bayer Swanepoel.
So
field and off the field.
Very well mannered off the field.
Okay. Wide outside the off stump. It's up in the air. There's a fielder under it. He gathers it very nicely. Backpedaling and takes a wonderful catch. So that's 180s. Who's pulled off an absolute beauty. This is a wide, wild delivery from Swanepoel. He came wide of the crease on his end as well. It was certainly there for the taking, but unfortunate for Gavin Kaplan. He's holed out to deep backward point. 3 down here in the 3rd over.
When it's your day, it's your day. Bayer Swanepoel says, thank you very much, Gavin Kaplan. Gone is your tremendous form with the red ball. Where Kaplan scored 3 centuries so far already this season. And it's one of the debutants, Richard Seletswane, matriculated at St. Stithians, not far from here, who takes that catch. It's been a fixture in the 4-day side already this season, Richard Seletswane for the DP World Lions. It's a big, big boundary out there. He backpedals and takes a beauty. So 3 wickets down, all 3 belong to Bayer Swanepoel.
Yeah, sensational start, and I think he's made the move here clearly because he has set his sights, getting good bounce. Hits him on the pad on the full again, and immediately the umpire indicates a bit nick, slight nick on the bat. This is only his second match, Gijsbert Weger. He made his debut just, was it in that match against the Northwest, the Dragons?
Made a lot of schoolboy runs that Gijsbert Weger played for the cap side of the Cobras as well.
Gets nicely into line, head down, elbow up, just pushes it into this wide gap that is on offer on the offside, and he'll pick up the single. Well, I must say that was a wicket that was only deserved because of the quality of the catch in the outfield. It was wild, woolly delivery. He used the width of the crease. He was clearly looking to attack the batsman a whole lot more, the body more, but it stayed wide, and the batsman got under this. He thought he played the perfect uppercut, and wonderful back pedal from Seletswane to have picked up the catch. So 3 wickets down, all 3, as you say, to Swanepoel.
Just a word on this Lions outfit, Aslam, is around their squad.
Into the beginning of the 4th over, and that will take the score to 17 for 3.
Mentioning those all-rounders, Delano Potgieter being one of them. Him and Connor Esterhuizen, they've been in prolific form with a bat in the 4-day competition for the Lions. Batting at 6 and 7, and that's a luxury for any side. In their last 4-day game, Esterhuizen moved up to number 5, but he was batting at 6 originally.
Slower ball outside the off stump. The ball comes off a very thick inside edge of the bat, and would you believe it's actually beaten Evan Jones all the way, and it's gone for 4. The batsman himself would have been sure of maybe a single, at best 2 runs, but it's just run away here under the Unity stand for 4. 21 for 3. He'll be relieved with that. Gijsbert Weger.
Testimony to a great outfield. That shot inside half of the bat at best, and Evan Jones just can't catch up. He's another one of the all-rounders in this Lions outfit.
Down the leg side. Let's keep an eye on the umpire and Brad White, and the number of all-rounders. I think we're going to see more and more of that in T20 cricket. We're seeing that at international level as well, where they're footable, especially from your middle order, lower middle order, all the way down. Oh, that's beautifully played. He got in line immediately, and he's played a beautiful 6 over straight long off. That's a good clean hit. Very decisive in his stroke play, and impressive to watch.
Lovely struck by Gijsbert Weger, the youngster. Gets himself onto that off stump. Might have been looking slightly more leg side-ish. Sign of a very good bat in his hands there.
Indeed. Yeah, just looking at that again, you thought he was looking to play it maybe straighter towards long on, but still so much of weight and timing behind that it still carried. And I must say it was almost as high as the 6th floor canopy here at the Wanderers.
I'll tell you what, I need a driver. Even when it's off center, it flies.
Botha looking to do the same, getting in line very quickly. Potgieter now trying to just tidy things up after being struck for what?
Jan Botha, another one. He took the new ball for Martin.
And he would add something to the attack if the conditions were prevailing in his favor.
He's attacked that off stump. He's slanting the ball in ever so slightly. All these batters will know he's got that prodigious outswinger as well.
So what they've done is just absolutely sensational. What a good catch that was.
You spoke about that bit of extra pace, maybe just turning that bat. And that is Bayo Swanepoel 2.0. Over the last 2 years, he's picked up that 3 or 4. Disappointed with his start, 2 overs, none for 20. See a bowling change.
Rafiq Patel, the Malaysia Cricket Club, and starts with a lovely looking delivery. He certainly deserved this call up. He's been a hard working youngster in the local leagues and in Lenasia as well. And I think the point to make here with him is, as soon as he was called up into the Colts and into the squads and told that he was being noticed, his whole attitude towards the game changed. And that's so important when looking after youngsters. That's another very good ball. It's a nicely stolen single there by Botha.
But it's also a sign, Aslam Kota, for a man to be picked out of club cricket. Lenasia, as you said, and sends all the right messages from a union. We all know there's structures and academies and things like that, but if you can still stake your claim, going the long way around, it's brilliant to see.
Oh, another very good ball. This has been a good start for him. He's pretty sharp, and that's why I think he maybe edges a few of the club bowlers in that he's probably bowling in the just about mid 130s.
He's skittish.
He is skittish. He very impressive on the, not necessarily a docile pitch in Lenasia, but he certainly does get the ball to shoot through. Very impressive when he's fit. He's really the deal. He's picked up good weight. He's worked very hard on his physique. Yeah, trying too hard down the leg side. Maybe just looking for that Yorker.
He's not short by any stretch of the imagination, but he's not the tallest of fast bowlers either. So no, it's very hard to explain to viewers sometimes just how difficult it is if somebody generates good pace, but he's not the tallest around. It's just a different dimension. Case in point, the little rib tickler.
And a good single there as well. Good of Botha to take Breezy's out of the firing line. No, exactly right. He's not. I don't think he's anywhere near 6 foot. He's possibly about, if I can talk in feet and inches, he probably stands at about, say, 5'10". So slightly taller than me. His father was a wonderful sportsman. But his background is, Ridwan used to be a wonderful swimmer in his time, and I think he represented Western Province and also Northern Cape. Absolutely brilliant. He got into line so quickly and just slapped it away for 4. So Botha ends that on a high, and clearly Rafiq Patel doesn't. End of over number 6. Or is there still a ball to go?
Still 1 to go.
So I in fact said I've had enough of Mr. Swanepoel already, but you know what? He'd be tempted to look for that 5th wicket, because you're certainly in the pound seats right now with 4 wickets down. Again, this is slashed just short of the fielder running in. Now he's standing at the conventional 3rd man on the boundary, so that doesn't carry through. But he looks to want to slash outside the off stump. Sometimes that's the strength of the player. I haven't seen much of Van Brieses to be able to, make that as a definitive statement. But it seems that anything that's sort of outside the off stump, he throws his bat at it. But now this is the impressive Botha. Again, does the same, gets in. Yeah, that being even the shorter of the boundaries here, it cleared it by a long way. I must say that from what you've just said, is this going to be a coming-of-age innings? The way he's already started, I'm really wishing that he'll be there at the end of the 20th over. Well, that's the quality we've seen so far from this youngster. The way he's just set himself up at the Wanderers. And so important to have a batsman of this kind of quality in your upper middle order. That's short. He goes for it. There's 2 fielders looking to get under that, but fortunately for him, it lands in no man's land. And they'll run through for 2. That'll end the over and also the spell for Beyers Swanepoel. He'll finish with 4 for 27 in a very, very impressive spell where all of the 4 wickets have fallen to the big man.
Yeah, it's only the last over that he conceded 12 runs. It was really one shot from Leon Botha, which deposited Beyers Swanepoel onto the bank. But a fantastic effort by the man who matriculated in Pretoria at Garsfontein Hoërskool. There's his wickets. Capel first to go, caught mid on. Bold Swanepoel. Clyde Fortuin was unhappy with this decision. LBW to one that snaked back at him from Beyers Swanepoel.
That's an impressive delivery from Patel. For once, Botha looked all at sea. Fortunately, again, it lands just before the fielder at third man. 1 run taken.
I like the look of Mr. Rafiq Patel. Dad was a swimmer. Maybe that's where the strength in the shoulders come from, because that's a whippy action in the crease, and he's going to surprise batters, especially if they haven't faced him a lot.
Yeah, that's true. You come through as an unknown quantity, especially at this level, or quality in his case. Full toss. Good stop, Jones, using all of that height of his to get in line. Make sure there's no extra, there's no run scored. So often you see a partnership suddenly develop and the game sways in favor of the batting team. So keeping the fielders alert, bowlers making sure that they support play a great supporting act to stay in the game, to stay ahead. Patel has that responsibility. Yeah, Van Bries times this quite nicely. It's going to run away for 4. This time it's beaten Jones, running to his left. Out of your picture, pretty much not pleased with his effort was Jones, but in the end, well-timed stroke down the ground.
He apologizes there to Patel, does Evan Jones. But the quality of this outfield is absolutely amazing. Value for shot much?
Too much value sometimes. That's, I think, what he was aiming to do. The previous delivery just overcompensated, delivered the full toss and got punished for that as well. So good to see that he's readjusted.
I like what you said there, Aslam. Sometimes just a bit too much value for shots. Batsman's game, you know, and that wasn't anywhere near the middle of the bat for Van Bries, and it raced away to the boundary.
Well, that's why I said that, you know, because yeah, this time he gets nicely on top of this one, controls it. First real shot of control from the young man, but he's played it nicely for a single. And he's to settle in now. I'm quite sure he's full of nerves given the fact that his team have the strap there, so it gives you an idea that Botha has now faced 21 deliveries for his 25. Given the fact that his team are 61 for 4, will indicate to you that this has already been a quality stay at the crease. Van Bries is helping him along. So Plaiki, the other debutant for the Lions, replaces Swanepoel on the other side.
Another man that has played regularly during the 4-day competition and took quite a few wickets. At stages he was slightly expensive in the longer format. Let's see what he does in the T20 format.
Yeah, Botha was already in position and expecting the short stuff. I must say that his wicket-taking deliveries were excellent. There's nothing in the ears. His wicket-taking deliveries were excellent, but then he did bowl some really innocuous deliveries. And I in fact, making the one comment that in between some of his good stuff, there's a lot of rubbish. But you know, and I'm certainly no Richie Bano to have made that comment. So it did bother me. But yeah, you know, I think it's all about just being more consistent in the way you perform in your spell. This is a beautiful stroke. He clearly loves the short ball, and this time it's Van Bries who picks it up over mid-wicket. Another short arm jab. He's a little fellow, I must tell you. Talking about the height of other players, he probably is just about 5'5", and got into a very good position there. And that has prompted the captain to now dispatch the fielder from the conventional mid-wicket.
Yeah, it's just too short at that pace from CSA. Gonna get punished.
And now he goes for the full-blooded drive over the top of the bowler. It's a firm-looking shot. He'll get 4 for it. Not good to see, on the other hand, that previous stroke that went for 4. The captain immediately decided that he's going to block that area. So actually placing fielders for the bad ball. Blakey needs to be, as I said earlier, needs to be cognizant of the time that when he does come in, he's going to need to be on line in length. On this occasion, he's slightly overpitched and beautifully hit over the top. So 2 more boundaries for Van Brieses. Oh, that's a very good delivery. That's a controlled, aggressive, short delivery. And that takes a brave man to do after he's been struck for 2 fours. So immediately maybe just making his presence felt to the youngster.
A big change up in pace there. Not the slower ball. That was a good 5, 6, 7 Ks quicker than that previous short ball. That's the difference between a short ball and a bumper. That was a bumper, not a short ball. Intent shown from CSA.
Short ball, he plays it again. This time he holds out. Blakey finally picks up a wicket. That often happens when bowlers are not necessarily all over the place, but they keep you guessing. And within 4 or 5 deliveries, he's managed to pick up Van Brieses, who opened his shoulders once again. Could he have played that differently? I'm not sure. But that is the 5th wicket that has fallen, and more trouble for the Boland team.
Yeah, wickets keep tumbling. The 5th goes down. Blakey digs it in again. It was outside the off stump. And Van Brieses trying to drag it over mid-wicket. He sets up deep in his crease. That's Van Brieses waiting for that short one. And he gets it as far as mid-on. Pays the ultimate price. Goldrush Boland with the ball left in the 9th over. 70 for the loss of 5.
Did Van Brieses get 20? So 3 fours, 4 fours in this innings of 20 runs. Frisco Adams is the new batsman. Oh, when he plays this late cut, it takes the edge and runs away for 4 very easily. Was it a controlled stroke from the experienced Frisco Adams to get off the mark? Ends the 9th over, 74 for 5.
Don't think it was as controlled as he wanted it to be. Definitely wanted to play it down there, just a bit finer than he was aiming. But a good start for Frisco Adams. He's got plenty of T20 experience.
You know, I know this is T20 cricket, but having come in, knowing that he's a quality player himself, I'd like to see him just rotate the strike and look to give Botha most of the strike, given the fact that he's batting so well. So change of bowling. And this uppercut runs away towards the 3rd man area. Evan Jones is into the attack. He's replaced Patel.
He's a big man, Evan Jones. There's a stage in his career where he could certainly get his pace well and truly up as well.
That's really neatly played, and that's really what he should be doing. Frisco Adams. When the bad ball is there, look to hit it. 4 fielders out in the deep, just to give it to our viewers very quickly. For Evan Jones, there's a deep mid-wicket, but he's off the fence by a good 15-20 meters. So he's deep backward square leg, and then fine legs on the boundary. So 3 boundary riders. This is wide outside the off stump, and the uppercut is played. And a misfield. If Porter was looking, well, he chases through for the 3rd run, and that's rather untidy in the deep. 2 lakhs. That's what I was talking about. Making sure that as fielders and as bowlers, you keep your concentration. It's only for 20 overs. Easier said than done.
Yeah, I think, in all fairness, the Lions have taken 5 wickets, but they haven't been brilliant in the field. They haven't even been that brilliant with ball in hand.
Advances down the pitch. This is a brave young batsman, is Leon Porter, looking to take the game to the opposition, even though his team are 5 wickets down. So he's certainly in his own bubble, Johan. And he's playing with it, the limitations that only he knows. Again, down the leg side. This is neatly tucked away by Frisco.
Speaking about all that experience of Frisco Adams, Aslam Kota mentioned it earlier, he'll be well served to get himself going, take his time, get Leon Botha on strike, who's 30 of 25. Going at 8 and over.
Nicely played. They talk about 2, and he's taking the chance. The throw's going to the correct, and he's given up the Frisco Adams. But unfortunately for the fielder, that's not hit the target. And 2 runs taken. There was perhaps a little bit of, or too much of optimism for that 2nd run from Botha. And he would have been the reason Frisco Adams would have been run out on that occasion. So 10 overs are complete. There's still a lot of overs to go. Only halfway through the innings. What can Boland do to recover? Here's another look at that. He had given up by a long way. And unfortunately, there was no fielder close enough to perhaps even guard the stumps to execute the run out. So 10 overs complete, 82 for 5. This partnership just worth 12. They were 1 for 1, 2 for 6, 3 for 14, 4 for 31, 5 for 70. Plaiki now from the golf course end. Short ball again, played straight to the fielder. It's just dropped in front of the skipper, who took the early catch that saw the end of Van Bries's.
I'll tell you what's leading to a lot of these shots is the short boundary. Frisco Adams is also thinking, I'm going to try and help myself. The moment Plaiki misses his length, that's my target area. Van Bries's was thinking the same thing, cost him his wicket. And short boundaries do play on batters' minds.
You're absolutely right, because it's part of the game plan before you invent. It's part of your pre-game planning, if I can put it that way. Oh, that's short, and it's deserved to be hit for 6. That's a beautiful hook from Frisco Adams. Got under this one, played it over his shoulder all the way for 6. Like he certainly does look to use, and perhaps gets over-exuberant on the Wanderers pitch.
His natural length is short. See how Plaiki, that one just too short. And with the angle, whipped over his shoulder, backward of square leg.
To find the gap, he'll get the single. That fielder is posted to that deep mid-wicket boundary. Now, I was saying earlier that maybe Rich van Buren posting the player immediately after a boundary was scored, maybe looking to bowl or just setting negative fields. But then the point you make is an interesting one, because he knows clearly that the batsmen are aiming for that. So at the very least, give one, cut out the boundary.
3 men on that leg side boundary.
So Botha, can he hold his head? Now watches this well. All the way onto the bat. That's exactly how you played. Not every ball is going to be the same. So beautiful application at the crease. So 2 balls remain in this over. 8 runs have already come off it. That run rate, which is obviously up on your screen there at 8.7, is pretty impressive, given that they're 5 wickets down. And all of that is off because of the way Botha has batted. 33 off 27. Oh, I thought for a moment they may have found the edge. That's a better length. He drew him into the stroke. He was looking to hit it straight over the head. And that's what you need to be doing. Even as a fast bowler, you need to look to tempt the batsman, especially in this format, because they're looking to meet bat with ball all the time. And on that occasion, unfortunate for Blakey, because he drew Adams into the stroke, just missed the outside edge.
Blakey's bowled 4 dot balls and the 11 he's bowled. 21 runs scored of the other 7.
Well bowled. The minute he finds that better length, he's just so good to watch. Nevertheless, end of over number 11, 90 for 5.
He does concede a lot of boundaries, Sia Blakey. Got 1 for 21 of his 2 overs, conceded a maximum in his second over, 3 boundaries in his first. Picked up a wicket in that first over. Goldrush Boland has lost half of their side. They've made 90 in 11 overs. Leon Botha holds the keys. 33 not out of 27. Needs to go deep into this innings. Kamane, Manak, Steerman and Mnyaka still to come. Big task on the shoulders of Botha and Adams. Bayer Swanner pulled the pick. 4 overs, 4 for 27, and it was only in his final over that he conceded 12 runs.
So Arman Manak into the lineup. Bowls off spin, gets turn early on a very grassy pitch, I must say. I was out there earlier for the toss. And
it's another one of the debutants, Morteza Manak. Twin brother named Arman. How do you select who makes the debut first?
That's why they say the job of a selector is a glorified headache. You don't certainly want it.
It is a tough job, especially with so much young talent around. How do you nurture them? How do you bring them through your system? Peel behind the stumps from the Lions. No real chance there.
So earlier today, when they put up the names of the 4 debutants, they had Arman Manak's name up on the screen. Oh, he induces the edge, and the forcing shot from Leon Botha. It's running away to third man. Just holding inside of that boundary, and they'll pick up 3 runs. So it's a whipping action for an off spinner. He does sort of come through that much more quicker than an ordinary spinner would. Not even 20 yet.
As I'm just returning to those debutants. No real damage, just a single too long on. Must be great for the Lions to know most of them homegrown, nurtured, coming through their systems. Richard Seletswani from St. Stithians, Manak, St. David's.
Absolutely. Patel, I'm not sure which school he attended in Lenasia, but very good to see, and it's a point well made, because in the new professional era, franchises are tempted to bring in youngsters from all different parts. 97 for 5. That is at the end of the 12th over.
For those who don't have access to it, not a great start, unfortunately, for the Proteas women in the World Cup final against India. After 13 overs, India 71 without loss. And the big question, I suppose, Aslam, as a South African die-hard supporter, is can they back a performance up after that semi-final heroics? It's been a while since they've played two great matches in a row.
Yeah, beating two of the favourites on your way, you just wonder if you can still bring that A game to a cup final. And the cup final brings a whole lot of other issues and aspects into your mental setup. So if they're able to shut it out and, just think of it as another game, hopefully they'll be able to perform. So Patel, his ends have been changed. He's been brought up, he's been operating now from, or he's just started operating from the golf course end to see if he can get the assistance that Plaiki as well as Swanepoel got early on. And there's just, of course, a conjecture from my part that the captain has decided, let's just try you from a different end to see if you can get more purchase or pace out of the pitch.
It's a good angle for us to witness now, that whippy action of Rafiq Patel. It's so disconcerting at times for batters. He strolls in, doesn't look like much in the run-up, and then it's like somebody presses fast forward in the crease because it's very quick arm action.
Yeah, the front end look is always the good one. It's a fabulous pull shot. That's 6 all the way from the moment it left the bat. Beautifully picked up. Clearly that's one of Frisco Adams' strengths. He's hit 2 in that direction, both in complete control, unbothered by the pace. That brings up the 100 as well, 104 for 5 here at the beginning or halfway through the 13th over.
That was smashed. That ball went at a rate of knots off the bat of Frisco Adams. All of a sudden, some advice needed for the rookie. He's gone for 20 off 2.3 overs. He's bowled much, much better than those figures would suggest. 2 maximums.
I think the message amongst that triumvirate who are having a chat now is that just don't pitch it that short. If you want to, you've got to hit that at Wanderers. If you're hitting the back of the length, you're okay. The minute you shorten than that, batsmen who are good with a short delivery will put you away, especially in this format. You can't tell the bowler more than that because the field hasn't changed at all.
It's also important, Aslam, I suppose, when working with a youngster or somebody making his debut, not to scramble his mind. Don't say too much. Just be very concise and very clear in your messages as a captain or as a fellow experienced player.
That's a crafty little stroke from Buerta to pick up the single. It was so close to the off stump, but he's seeing it well now. Probably there for just about an hour. He's faced 34 deliveries for his 40 runs. And the other partnership for that 5th wicket was worth 39. This one has gone to 36. This is exactly what they needed in the middle order. A good partnership. Short again and well over the top of the mid-wicket fielder. That is a classic hit. To play those types of strokes on the Wanderers pitch in front of square is of high quality. Frisco Adams finishes that over on a high. At the end of the 13th, 112 for 5. That run rate now at a very healthy 8.6. If they can keep things together, again, too short. And that's the problem at the Wanderers, and especially with the batsman of this capability against a short delivery, you're going to be punished. So his comeback over, not the best for Patel.
I fell into Frisco Adams' trap there. Loves it short. There's the standings and the T20 challenge. Alphabet Warriors 7 points after 2 games, a 1 win with a bonus point and 1 no result. Momentum Titans, they won one of their 2 as well, as did the Dragons.
Porter taking those chances, and in the end you have to say he's judged it to perfection. Saw the fielder still coming towards the ball, looked up. In fact, from the moment he struck the ball, he said 2 in it, but had another look and then took the responsibility of charging down the far side. So 2 runs well taken. 15 runs coming off the last over, that of Patel. Scoreboard looks a bit more respectable. This is short. It's gone straight up in the air. What has he just done? Evan Jones gifted a wicket. A poor delivery, an equally poor shot from a player who until then looked to do everything right. He is so disappointed and so disconsolate, and so he should be. And I'm sure when he watches the replay a little later tonight, he will realize the error that he has made. Clearly there was an urgency in his approach, but perhaps just overzealous on this occasion. And a good innings comes to a close. 42 of 36 deliveries.
Now 2 wide. But Evan Jones is a big man and he does bowl a heavy ball. The line, that was the problem. It was wide outside the off stump. Buerta was looking over mid-wicket, and with that heavy ball that Jones bowls, it's very difficult to get around it from outside the off stump from the back foot. And in the end, rushed for pace, you should say, but it's because of the line that Leon Buerta pays the ultimate price. And a much needed wicket, Aslam, for the Lions.
Important point to make, because 44-run partnership, 50 comes up on the board. Suddenly there's hand claps all around. The 2 batsmen are meeting mid-pitch and saying, we've got through the difficult period, let's keep bowling. Immediately the opposition think differently. It's so important to check the scoreboard when you're batting, to make sure that your mental game comes to the fore, so that you then get into the mentality of the opposition. New batsman that has come in. Kamane, is that right?
Yeah, it should be Ayat Kamane in next. It is. Gets off the mark straight away. Nice looking drive from Kamane. Jones going much fuller.
Frisco's just shown you on 3 occasions or 4 occasions, don't bowl short to me. And Evan Jones runs in with a wild delivery down the leg side and almost pitching it in his half.
That's the ego thing, Aslam. It's the ego thing. He wants to show he's quick enough to bother him. Spotting to the big boundary. That's an advantage for Jones.
And mixes it with a slower delivery, and unfortunately the keeper can't get behind this one.
Who is behind the stumps there, Aslam?
I think it's Makwetu.
Wandile.
Yep.
Makwetu, well-travelled cricketer as well. Fantastic junior cricketer. Played for the South African under-19 side, Wandile Makwetu. Spent some time at the Knights as well. Was used at the top of the order a lot for the Knights.
Another slower delivery, well played. You may have heard them say 2-2-2, and then of course once again excellent coverage out in the outfield, keeping it down to a single. They certainly need to lift the game, as you made the point earlier. The Lions out in the field, they need to pick things up.
What a ball.
Why doesn't he bowl 6 in a row like that? End of the over. 14 gone, 119 for 6.
It's one of those. Play that, says Evan Jones. Just turns around, walks back as if it's something he does regularly. Star of the show thus far, Bayer Swanepoel. Picked up the first 4 wickets. The first to fall was Capel. Caught mid-on. And then a big shot. Clyde Fortuyn was seriously unhappy. This was a great catch. Richard Saletswane back paddling on debut. Former South African under-19 captain.
Swanepoel taking a magnificent catch there in the covers. Another side-on look to see. It was at full stretch, beautifully timed. And then Van Brisses, having played a few wonderful pull shots, falls to Plaatje's short ball ploy. Back live again, and it's a firm-looking drive off the bat of Adams. That'll take him to 30.
He's played for the Pole Royals and the SA20 for Isco Adams. He's played in the Mzansi Super League preceding that as well. More than 100 T20 games under the belt. Averages 20. He's batting well today. 31 not out of 16.
White called.
I get your point that you made in the 4-day game about Sia Plaatje. He bowls unplayable deliveries, but in between, he bowls deliveries not recognizable at this level. That's strange. Is that just a lack of concentration, you'd say, Aslam?
You know, we talk about overhitting and overthinking. I think it's overthinking. And I'm glad that he's getting this exposure now under the tutelage of Alan Donald, because Donald will obviously look to refine him, more so from the neck up. Because clearly he's got the pace, he's got a beautiful action, he's got a strong running, he's got all the attributes you want from a good fast bowler. In fact, I would go as far as saying that at his pace, he could be an excellent shock bowler. So you could then maybe even allow runs to be scored off his bowling, but he's given you 3 and 4 wickets every time he's gone into bowl.
And that'll change the plan for him. That'll change the lengths he bowls at, and it'll change the field captain set for him.
Oh no, this wasn't as short as you would have expected. Easy catch for Jones. And what a rather disappointing way for Kamane to have been dismissed. Out for 1, and that allows the Lions just to continue to take wickets at regular intervals. Suddenly they see themselves with another wicket in hand, having broken that partnership of 44 runs. Kamane out for 1. Plaatje strikes again. 123 for 7.
Spoke about Plaatje when he gets it right at that pace. Back of a length. Trying to go over cow corner, one suppose. Evan Jones won't get a lot more easier catches than this. Make sure he holds on to it. And a double wicket for the DP World Lions. See them back on top at 123 for 7. Goldrush Boland in danger of not batting their 20 overs.
Jan, the other thing to mention here is, although it's 20 overs, and if they've played enough of it at league level, at Coles level, at academy levels, and you come at this level, you not even hit the 15 over mark and you play a stroke like that. Not good. Manak is the new batsman in, Imran Manak. Second cousin to the twins, son of Jack Manak. Abdullah Manak, who was a star bowler in his time in the South African Cricket Board. Fastest to 100 wickets, finished with 197 in his career. And that's an all-time record in non-racial cricket, went past the likes of Hussein Ayub and others. And so this is his son. His father was a quick bowler, bowled those boomerang in-swingers very much like Richard Snell. And then the twins are Jack Manak's cousins' sons. Hence, these two boys are second cousins, playing against each other.
I was about to say, what a famous South African cricket surname, Manak. And take us back to those ball days. You mentioned two of the best bowlers we've ever had in South Africa, Hussein Ayub and Manak. 197 wickets, the record, you say? Ayub, how many?
Ayub was, they didn't play as much as Jack Manak and them did.
Tickle down to fine leg as the delayed flight of Tariq Ibrahim from Cape Town has finally arrived.
So 15 overs complete, 126 for 7. Yeah, what happened was in his early period, part of his career, they would play what they called the centralized tournaments. So one venue, 6 matches, that's your provincial season for the end. And then you go back home and you play club cricket.
And you come back next year.
Cricket, then you come back next year. So when the South African Cricket Board of Control was formed, the United Board, which then saw the amalgamation of the Black African, Coloured and Indians, now formed the non-racial setup, and they started playing the 3-day league, and that's the only time it was classified as first class.
Off the back foot.
So Hussein Ayub wouldn't have played that many first-class matches for that reason, whereas when Jack made his debut at the age of 17 and a half and picked up 8 wickets in his first match, he only played first-class cricket, the 3-day setup in the Howard Bowl. Marcus Amir continues. This is going to be a lovely contest to watch.
And he was a big, tall, fast bowler. There was always a bit of a deal before the game, saying, listen, I'll get off strike as quickly as I can. Hurt the other guys, please.
Well, I have something else. I have more to tell you about myself. We were 3 brothers, and not at any given time did any of the 3 of us play in one team. But I certainly played against the 2 of them. And there was an occasion where Aslam Kota caught Nasir Kota, bowled Khalid Kota for naught. And of course it was the biggest subject matter at the dinner table till the next weekend. But just talking about the Manaks, I mean, I described it in an article about 2 years ago when these 2 boys were scoring tons of runs at school level. I think in one season, between the 2 of them, they scored 900s, including 2 doubles. Each one of them managed that. So I wrote this article. And it was, I think the title was, this will be 2 easy runs taken here by Manak. That's exactly what the other batters needed to be doing. Nevertheless, they go to 130 for 7. And that at the end of the 16th over. So still 4 overs to go, much to play for. And I called it the Manak conveyor belt. Because where does the story actually start? Hussein Manak's dad, Abu Manak. I can tell you something. I've watched all of them, played with them. Only these youngsters I've not played with them. They'll have to live another lifetime to play like Abu Manak did. He played for Transvaal, he played for the North versus the South in the celebrated fixture at the end of the season. Scored hundreds, took lots of wickets. We in fact got a little kiosk in the museum downstairs on the 2nd floor here at the in the Unity stand. Short ball, and he's hit this up in the air. Fielder under it, calls that it's mine. And Farisco Adams holds out once again. He doesn't count the number of overs that are remaining. I'll certainly minus his 35 given the fact that he's thrown it away here for his team, with the possibility that they could be dismissed and not face the complete 20 overs. He's out for 35, 22 balls, 3 sixes and a 4.
Once again, Plaiki with that extra bit of pace. Just rushing Farisco Adams. He's targeting that short boundary. He's cleared it with success on 3 occasions. But this time, that bit of extra pace sees Plaiki pick up his 3rd in his 4th over.
Yeah, 8 wickets down. And as I said, there was a semblance of respectability to their score when they were 123 for 6. Suddenly 123 for 6, 132 for 123 for 7, 132 for 8, and all going pear-shaped once again. Because you always feel once you have a score of 150 plus, you still have something to bowl at. Because if your strike bowlers make early inroads, you're already in the game. So that was a really poor stroke from Farisco Adams, given that he was in complete control. I know that you talked about him being suckered into that short ball from Blakey and the short boundary. Steerman in. Maybe these two tailenders will play with a lot more sensibility.
I'll tell you, Glenton Steerman will be licking his lips to bowl on this track. There's enough grass coverage, and he's a guy that just hits that seam so often. At the start of his career, well, not the start, but he played for the Proteas, did Glenton Steerman, and he was sort of likened to a Vern Philander at a stage. Bowls very much the same sort of way. It was a lot of pressure to put on a young man to liken him to Vernon Philander.
Well, I'll be looking forward to watch him on this track.
Another one.
Given out. Why did Managiven think of running that through? Maybe the short chat was when they got together that let's just find the singles here to regroup and organize ourselves. And unfortunately, that is poorly judged. He made the call after making the stroke, and a direct hit means there was no difficulty for the umpire to make the decision. Here's a side on view. Wonderful pick-up and hit. Excellent bit of cricket there.
It's also good umpiring, Aslam, because it was out, and it was a very decisive decision. These days, with the amount of TV games and assistance umpires can have in making those run-out decisions, it's really good to see having the conviction of mind to make it quickly. Nakona Mnyaka, a last man in for Goldrush Boland. Sia Blakey 3 for 29 off 3.5 overs, 7 wickets between him and Bayer Swanepoel.
So Steerman facing. Plays the uppercut. Third man is in a pretty fine position, so no real issue for him. 130 for 9, and I think that dismissal, the run out, maybe just indicates the importance of the wicket of Farisco Adams. Again, in context, that wouldn't have happened. He just got suckered into that particular stroke because he was obviously successful on 3 occasions, 3 sixes, and he hit a 4 as well, all of them on the leg side.
I think that two guys who's going to have a hard time in that dressing room is Leon Botha and Farisco Adams. Coach will be in their ear. You guys gave it away, 42 and 35 respectively. Both out on the pull shot.
Correct. Both of them settled. Both of them saw through the difficult periods. They did everything right. I don't see why, even in this compressed version of the game, that you can't be thinking the same way you do in the other two versions. You know, you got to stay in there, bat to the end.
He's not thinking of batting to the end. He's thinking of putting it out of the stadium. But it's not his job to bat right through the end, Glenton Steerman.
Blakey, 3 for 31. His figures, 4 overs, no maidens, 3 for 31. That's excellent. A good return for him in his first match out for the Lions.
Goldrush Boland, 135 for 9. Leon Botha, 42 of 36. Adams, 35 of 22. Van Briese's contributed 14. Bayer Swanepoel did the damage up front, 4 for 27 of his 4 overs. He bowled all 4 of them on trot at the start. So it's good figures. Bowled 3 of his 4 overs during the power play, did Bayer Swanepoel.
So Jones will continue to start the 18th over in search of the last wicket.
carry. Very good carry.
Well, clearly their tails are up. And in the first half, or the first number of wickets, when they were at that 70 for 5, then they deserve to have the tail up. And then there's 2 bits of recovery. And suddenly here with these few giveaway wickets, their tails are up again. And that's why Evan Jones will do everything he can. This is wide outside the off stump and called a wide. And it's a wonderful example of how the mental shift we've seen in this innings. And there would have been a bigger one had those partnerships of 34 and 44 actually progressed beyond 50.
It's too wide, yeah.
I still feel with 6-12 plus 4, 16 balls to go, that they can get themselves to about 150 and then have something to bowl at.
157.5 to the over in 20 overs.
That's right.
Couple of early wickets. You're right in it. Drop and run. Evan Jones, flat on the stomach. He's a big man. Takes a while to get back up. My highlight of the day thus far is Kota out for 0. Bowled Kota and caught Kota. That is one to remember. Very unique, I suppose. Couldn't have happened too much.
But there were lots of family of cricketers through all the races and through all the time that the game has been played. I'm sure I saw a scorecard, and you'll find this very interesting because it wasn't from India or Pakistan or Bangladesh. It was from the UK, and there were 11 Patels in one team. Imagine commentating on that particular match.
Either very difficult or very easy.
We only deal in first names, I reckon. Short, well played. Fielder will intercept to keep it down to a single.
I'm trying to think of another sport where one can liken the circumstances of a very big and a very short boundary, like in cricket. Perhaps a slightly out of sync baseball park can have that effect, but it is very unique to the game of cricket.
Beautiful delivery, has found the outside edge. That's why he continued to bowl at back of a length all the time, did Evan Jones, and not allow it to be any fuller because they'd be able to pick up singles and twos. And that is the end of the innings. 138 all out indeed after 18 overs, and it's obviously the cardinal sin when you don't bat the full overs. So well done to Evan Jones, well done to the rest of the bowling team, but they do have a score of 138 to chase, to defend, and now it's going to mean that they're going to need to perform a whole lot better than they did 2 nights back when they defended a score of just over 140.
Blade Capel was first to go. He was caught by Evan Jones, bowled by a Swanepoel at mid-on. Gavin Kaplan, who's been in the runs the whole year, made only 2. Leon Botha and Farisco Adams, the 2 standouts, with 42 and 35 respectively. The wickets for the DP World Lions shared between Baya Swanepoel, Sia Plaiki and Evan Jones, with 1 run out as well, that of Imran Manak, who is playing his second cousin, who's making his debut, Morteza, for the DP World Lions. And there is the bowling figures. Baya Swanepoel and Sia Plaiki, the 2 stars of the show. Delano Potgieter was 2 straight up front and went at 10 and over. Morteza Manak bowled decently in those 2 overs, 2 overs none for 13. And Rafiq Patel at the stage was bowling with good gas.
Well, clearly the mornings or the early part of the play was all over at Bayes Swanepoel. You see there on your screen, 4 for 27. He made those early inroads to have them tottering at 31 for 4. In fact, had 2 wickets in the first 2 overs that he bowled. and he certainly set the tone for this Lions performance. They did win the toss, did elect to bowl first, and they had the visitors in big trouble. There were fabulous innings from Puerta, Adams in particular, and unfortunately they hold out to the shorter deliveries, that of Siak Plaikis, and in the end that was all they were able to muster. 138 all out, and don't go too far because we'll be in position for the Lions reply. That will be in about 7 minutes. Until then, goodbye.
Welcome back to the DP World Wanderers, where the home side has got the task at hand to chase down the 138 scored by a Goldrush Boland. The start key to both sides. And Glenton Steerman will be looking to emulate Bayer Swanepoel, who took 4 up front for the DP World Lions. It's been a good season as far for Goldrush Boland, but it's also been a good one for the Lions. It does look like Wandile Makwetu is out there for the Lions. It is, in fact, averaging 20. He's made 203 runs in 12 innings. With a strike rate of 115, 150 behind his name. Playing on a wicket closer to the west side of the DP World Wanderers Stadium. It's a short boundary to Makwetu's offside, but a long, long way to that leg side boundary. And we'll see there, deep backward square is about 10 to 15 meters in from the ropes. First ball will be Steerman. Richard Seletswani joins Makwetu, the debutant Richard Seletswani. A hint of outswing for Steerman up front, and I'm joined in commentary by Tariq Ibrahim. Safe got him here eventually. Afternoon, Tariq.
Afternoon, Sput. Yeah, that's the word, eventually. We sat on the runway at Cape Town International for an extra half an hour than what we should. And then a few admin hiccups at OR Tambo as well, but got here eventually.
139 required. And that's the first of those 139. Makwetu. A little drop and run. Steerman. As with the first delivery, just that hint of outswing. Tariq, encouraging signs as we see his record.
A good economy for an opening bowler. Smidge over 7 and then the fifer, which is pretty rare in T20 cricket.
Not a lot of Michelles floating around in T20s. But Swanepoel got close today. It's 2 straight as he drifts onto the pads of the debutant Richard Seletswani. Just to be clear, just his T20 debut. He's played quite a few first-class games for the DP World Lions already. Former St. Stithians boy. As Limkota and myself spoke in that first innings, that the Lions will be proud of all the youngsters they're bringing through their system. St. David's, Maristananda, the Manak brothers, St. Stithians, Richard Seletswani. Solidly punched into the covers, no addition.
Yeah, you're touching on the youngsters that's coming through the Lions setup. I mean, we've personally seen over these last 2 seasons just the amount of talent that there is up here in the Highveld, and it's good to see. But the question then becomes, is there going to be space for all these youngsters that's coming through? Because, you know, they're heading through. There's still some very young blood that's currently in the system. So when they do eventually make that switch and make that change from high school cricket all the way up into the professional ranks, where's the space?
Just on the top of my mind, another brilliant youngster, Jason Rowles at St. David's Marist. He's going to be knocking on the door of the squad soon. He bowls left-arm orthodox as well, bats nicely. Steerman trying to settle. The last delivery was just a bit wide. He's only conceded 2. Neatly played once again. Staggered field on the offside, a single to the man on the edge of the circle just in front of point. No damage done if you're Glenton Steerman and Goldrush Boland after that first over. 3 without loss. Tariq, this DP World Wanderers just paints a different picture than other grounds. The bull ring, as it's been affectionately known.
No, but you're going to get me onto something else. So let's... you know me. You know where I'm from. You know what I'm going to say next. There's sort of something missing in the background. You know that I'm going to say that part.
Yeah. Capetonians and their mountain. Take the mountain away, they've got nothing.
We've got the beaches.
Akonam Nyaka, some left arm seam. That economy rate will be the worry for him. 9.18. Only 13 wickets in 25 innings as bowled. He's better than that, Akona Mnyaka. He can get the ball shaped back into the right-handers. He's bowling to Andile Makwetu. Was that glove? Was that glove? Yes, indeed. Strangled down the leg side with Mnyaka's first delivery. Exactly what Goldrush Boland needed.
That's exactly what they needed, but probably fortuitous if you are Akona Mnyaka. You're just trying to get the body a bit more loose. That just sends this one back of a length. Strangles Makwetu on that leg side. He goes for it. He attempts to, I mean, by all means, got the short boundary on the leg side, so have a full go. Unfortunately, just loses his shape, does Makwetu. And in losing his shape, he loses his balance. Flicks off the glove, and that's a great take as well by 14 behind the stumps.
As far as gifts go, that was well wrapped and delivered by Take-A-Lot. And Makwetu letting the package fall after receiving it, because the short boundary, we saw a few land on the bank. It's a big moment. It is Rassie van der Dussen coming to the crease, all the experience in the world. The Protea. You would have seen the Proteas lose the T20 series to Pakistan after winning the first game comfortably. Look at that, 227 innings, average of nearly 37, strike rate of 130, one of the best in the T20 game.
Oh, just short of what looks like Kaplan at first slip, but Mnyaka, I think he's found his rhythm, he's found his line immediately to Van der Dussen, and all of a sudden felt as though that ball just shot off on a length, getting across the right hander. It did indeed, and that's where that soft hands of that top order comes in. You know, when the ball's outside, you're off stump, just loosen the hands a little.
It was very neatly played in the end. He's generating a bit of pace here as Akona Mnyaka. Clyde 14, quite a fair way back behind the stumps.
It seems as though it takes a few steps behind him and he'll be on the inner ring. But I've seen Mnyaka when he first came through the system, in the old franchise system, playing for the Cape Cobras. And he was pretty scrawny, shall we say. Seems as though he's added some meat on those bones over the years.
Van der Dussen plays it out to mid-wicket. It's important for a fast bowler to be well conditioned. Can't be too big, but scrawny doesn't always help either. Need some meat on those bones. They take a hammering, those bones. Often described as one of the most unnatural things the human body can do is bowling quickly. You're running one way, you want to hurl the ball, but then you stop. Just weird. Yeah, that's well played. Van der Dussen gets himself off the mark.
Nice change in length from Mnyaka on that occasion. Deciding to pitch this one up a bit just to see if there's perhaps a bit of movement, bit of shape off of the deck. It sort of just held its line nicely into Rassie van der Dussen's eye line and then punches it straight back down the ground.
No less than 4 debutants in this Lions side today. There's one in the Goldrush Boland side as well, in Gijsberg Wege. His brother Johan, also quite a handy batter. Big shot, but there's an inside edge involved there, surely. For Richard Siletswane, might have saved him.
Now the Boland debutant, Gijsberg Wege. Have you attempted to put his name into AI and allow it to pronounce it by itself?
I haven't needed to, I'm off record. So Gijsberg to me is a very easy name. I can imagine what AI will come up with, Giesbird or Jadesbird. But yeah, he's part of a very good sporting family, is Gijsberg Wege. Paul Boys High School alumni. They'll be going to the Switch Schools SA20 Finals, Volume 2.
I'm pretty sure you would have been locked onto the stream yesterday watching that game, the big old Paul derby.
Yes.
And then, interestingly enough, being played in Stellenbosch.
The irony wasn't lost on me that Paul Boys High and Paul Gymnasium was playing at Goldrush Gymnasium. I'm not so sure Dion Bottas from Goldrush is too happy with that, but be that as it may, attention back. A slow start here for the DP World Lions. Good bowling from Goldrush Boland. A swing on offer for Glenton Stearman. He doesn't give you much. Not the quickest around. It's such an intriguing battle between him and Bayer Swanepoel because they're so much alike as bowlers. And we saw Bayers early on, you and almost go the other way today, slanting the ball predominantly into the right-handers, not giving them any room. Stearman is getting that lovely little away shape.
Now, they're sort of those bowlers where you've just got to keep watching. Because while it might seem that Stearman is happy to take it away, there's that odd one that is probably setting you up for.
Well bowled. Well bowled, Glenton Stearman. A bit of bounce from a good length. Van der Dussen. He does react, Rassie van der Dussen, to a bit of extra bounce or something. He does have big reactions as a batter. Here you see it.
It's almost as if he was anticipating it just to hold its line towards him and did something off the pitch.
Oh, he has a go at that one. See, but that's also tactical now from Van der Dussen, Tori, because he doesn't want Glenton Stearman to just bowl at him for 4 overs and settle on that line and length. So he has a go at him, knowing that if he clears the inner field or clears the ropes, he puts pressure back on Stearman to maybe change something, meaning Van der Dussen is uncomfortable.
Glenton is just probing outside of that off stump. He's getting the ball to really rise up on a length. And it's, from the looks of it, it's making Rassie uncomfortable, which is what you want to do to an international batter of his class.
Oh, there's a good grass coverage, as you see there, Tariq, on the wicket. And every now and then, you'll hit one of those grassy areas where the grass is just standing up a little bit and creating that a bit of extra bounce and sea movement every now and then. To the long boundary. All the way from Rassie van der Dussen. Last ball of the Stearman over. Perhaps a mental victory for Glenton Stearman. But the physical victory belongs to the Protea, Rassie van der Dussen.
Now, Rassie would have wanted to have gotten hold of a few before, but this one just holds on its line, slides in towards the right-hander. And that's a monster hit from Rassie van der Dussen, out of the screws. And he knew immediately, as soon as he made contact, he just started strolling down the pitch going, yeah, I've won that battle.
If that was on the golf course, you would have seen a little club twirl.
No, absolutely, who wouldn't? I'm sure he would have twirled his bat if he was able to.
I haven't done a club twirl in a while. Just haven't hit one in the fairway for a while.
I didn't even know those things exist.
12 for 1 after 3 overs. A much needed boundary off that final delivery for Rassie van der Dussen. Salatwane has stood on the other end and watched some cricket for the last couple of overs. Oh, that's nice. That's quick from Akona Mnyaka. So the different angle, the left armour. Salatwane fancies it to the short boundary.
Yeah, who wouldn't? But Nyaka, just a bit of extra pace that he's picked up. I'm sure Salatwane will want to sort of try and take him on with that leg side boundary being short.
off the splice of the T20 bat. Slight misfield at extra cover allows them through for the single. Field for Nyaka. A slip and a short third man, short fine leg as well. Man out on the deep square boundary. And a very square sweeper on the offside, meaning plenty of space through cover. Not just in the inner ring, but to the boundary as well. 3 men in the circle on the leg side, 3 on the offside, 4 if you include slip. Cool, calm and collected, Rassie van der Dussen.
Oh, neatly played. So he just rode the bounce and allowed the ball to come to him, played it under his eyes. It's almost as if he played that ball as it was the immediate ball after hitting a 6. I'll hit the 6 and the next ball, take the 1, get myself to the other side.
Professional. The drop and run from Seletwane. That's good. You need at least 1 a ball here, because they are still in the power play and they're not really attacking it. Nyaka 1 for 5 of 10 deliveries. Really good going.
Well, you can see the plan that Nyaka has come with. It's back of a length, it's into the batters. Try and cramp them up as much as I can, push them back. So I'm pretty sure sooner rather than later he's going to try and tempt one of these batters with a full one outside the off stump.
Once again, nicely played by van der Dussen. For Nyaka, the key is to stay patient. Don't lose patience. You're winning the battle as a bowler in T20 cricket. And you've only conceded 6 of the 11 deliveries that you've bowled. Short boundary to the leg side for Seletwane. Is he going to try and attack that to get himself going? Call of no. And another good Nyaka over comes to an end. 1 for 6 of 2 overs. Tariq going along at 4s, yeah. 16 for 1 after 4. Look, they're not chasing a big target, so you suppose Lions will be happy. They've got big hitters to come.
Yeah, 1,000%. It's probably more just about let's get through the initial phase, get through the opening bowlers, and when the change guys comes on and you've gotten yourself used to the deck, then start opening up the arms and freeing it a bit, because you know that you've got the hitting power later on. So wickets in hand. It's that old adage all the time, wickets in hand towards the back end of the innings, when you know you've got hitters in the hut that can come on and change the game if needs be.
Steerman continuing over the top, goes van der Dussen. Clears mid off. Does not find the long off boundary. Batters rush back for a second.
Yeah, I think van der Dussen fancies himself here against Steerman. Picked him for that beautiful 6 for the last ball of his previous over, and immediately first ball, let's take it to the bowler, trying to keep the pressure on him.
That's well bowled. Well bowled, Glenton Steerman. He knows he's in with a chance here because van der Dussen wants to get in after him.
There's a bit of an interesting fielding change that has happened as well. Frisco Adams was at mid-off, and with that ball that teased him over his head, they've sent him to mid-on and got a taller fielder in at mid-off just in case.
That's not nice to the shorter fella. Shot. Overpitched from Glenton Steerman. That's Rassie van der Dussen's area. Over towards the cow corner region between long on and mid-wicket.
Yeah, we said it at the beginning. Spot van der Dussen fancies himself against Glenton Steerman. Again, just drifting this one into the pads. Bit too full. just allows easy pickings for a man of his class. Stands nice and tall, dispatches it to cow corner. All Frisco Adams can do is just jog after it and throw it back in. Once again, it's at Van der Dussen. This time though, brought his length back slightly. It's probably where he needs to be all the time, Glenton. Just that length. Sort of just trying to keep Rassie honest. So Nyaka's been doing that from his end. He's been keeping it nice and tight. And oftentimes we speak about the batting partnerships, but bowling partnerships as well. Nyaka's keeping it tight. He's building the pressure. And then you don't want your partner at the other end just to release that. And thus far, 6 off this over already with 2 to come. Sort of feel as though that's what's happening.
Down the leg side from Stuurman. Yeah, he's come under attack from Rassie van der Dussen, and he's just lost his bearings as Glenton Stuurman. He'd conceded only 4 runs and bowled 11 deliveries. And that final ball of his second over got dispatched into the stand. So he's gone for 12 of his next 5 deliveries. Too short. Got away with it, did Glenton Stuurman. At his pace, that's not where you want to be hovering. 1 over and 1 ball left in the power play. They've upped the ante. They're going at nearly 5. They need 115 more runs to win. And it's a quick scoring ground, the DP World Wanderers. Very, very quick outfield.
And then he goes and does that to Silet Swane.
So that Swane hasn't got him going. His feet stuck to the crease there. Just hanging out the bat outside off stump. Now, positivity doesn't necessarily mean whacking the ball. It's in foot movement as well. So the battle between 2 Proteas, Glenton Stuurman and Rassie van der Dussen.
I saw the early doors. Stuurman was probing outside of that off stump, keeping Van der Dussen under pressure. And then that shot that went for 6. That one sort of released the pressure that Glenton Stuurman had built up. From that point on, Rassie's, so to say, dominated him.
It was a massive shot over mid-wicket / square leg. Nyaka, there's another massive one. Rassie van der Dussen goes massive at the DP World Wanderers. You're not going to rush van der Dussen for pace, Akonam Nyaka. Make sure you pitch it up.
Oh, it's just amazing at when you're bowling or when you're watching the Proteas batters come and play in the T20 challenge, just how much time they have. Goes deep into his crease just to give himself an extra split second to get himself into a position. He knew it's probably going to be back of a length, so that's where Nyaka has been all the time.
Out! Wicket for Akonam Nyaka. That man at short third man / fly slip takes a good catch. Rassie van der Dussen has to be on his way. Big wicket for Nyaka.
Oh, what a way to hit back by the Goldrush Boland opening bowler. It's still short, but this one's a bit further outside of that off stump. And all Van der Dussen could do was just try and steer it past that man on third. He's setting himself up deep in the crease again. But easy pickings for Imran Manak. Straight into the bread basket.
That's a sharp catch from Imran Manak. Never easy when they travel that sort of distance at that pace. Might be a slight movement in the air. And he's generating good wheels here, Nyaka. That one went sharply to Imran Manak.
I mean, Van der Dussen couldn't have picked him out any better. He literally did not have to move an inch
a meter to the left or right, and it was pretty much a boundary. Captain Mitch van Buren. It's become so dependable for this DP World Lions side. Van Buren. They certainly have great squad depth. 4 debutants in the side today. Sia Plaiki, Rafiq Patel, Urteza Manak, and Richard Saletswane. Saletswane at the crease now with Mitch van Buren. It's a good record. 27, average 450s, the highest of 72 not out. He'd like to inch that strike rate ever so slightly higher, maybe to 130. Generating good paces there. Nyaka. It's nicely bowled.
Van Buren is really known to be a massive hitter and to clear boundaries all the time. He's more sort of like a nudger and a nerdler and works himself in and then picks up the boundaries here and there. Does possess the power game, let me put that out there. But it's not often. And that's probably the part of his batting that needs to develop a little bit more.
Mid wicket does the fielding. Nyaka drifting straight onto the stumps. There's a couple of deliveries left in the 6th over. Aslam Kota stretching his legs, getting ready to get back in commentary. Van Buren. Will he play a captain's knock yet for his side? It's good. I like the length in Nyaka's bowling. He's bowling that a hard length, but he's bowling it with conviction. There's something behind the ball, good wrist position. You can see by the positioning of Clyde Fortuin and the way that ball carried to Imran Manak that he's generating good pace.
Often you find and you feel as though opening bowlers, they just go through the motion, get themselves to the crease, put the ball through, and there's nothing really in it and nothing behind it. But Nyaka's really come and he's got his tail up.
Oh, that's rushed him. Another wicket. He's just turned around and walked back, Mitch van Buren. We said Nyaka's only taken 13 wickets in 25 innings. He's taken 3 here. And it's a tough chase lying ahead of the DP World Lions all of a sudden after this power play. They finished the power play on 30 for 3.
It just rushes him for pace as Nyaka gets big on Van Buren. But that's what Nyaka's been doing this entire power play. All 3 of his overs, he's been rushing the batters. He's been asking for those questions. And that's a pretty simple catch at short fine for Glenton Steerman.
Change in personnel for the Lions as the new batter strides to the crease. And it's Kaya Fukude. And the change in commentary as well. There's Aslam Kota joins Tariq Ibrahim.
Yeah, one probably feels as though the Goldrush Boland side, they've won that power play, conceding just 30, but then picking up 3 crucial wickets, including that of the captain of the DP World Lions, Mitch van Buren. Last one to go. All 3 of those wickets falling to the left arm seam of Akona Nyaka. Seems as though Glenton Steerman still got the ball in hand, so is he going to finish off all of them immediately? Why not? It's all pressure from Goldrush Boland at the moment. Here comes Steerman once again.
Yeah, to Saletswane. This is the beginning of the 7th over. And now the two youngsters, both debutants, have this huge responsibility of negotiating a very, very crucial period for the Lions team. A great fight back so far, and Nyaka has been absolutely impressive. He's rushed them all, and he's certainly taken a hold of the pitch and the opposition, and he's got 3 wickets falling to his name. Almost in the same pattern that Swanepoel was able to do during the Boland innings, where he eventually picked up 4 wickets for 27. He had all 4 of the first wickets that fell. But all eyes on Steerman now, also into his 4th over. And what a period of play this has been. So good to see. It was a tough time out of the bat, and now really, what do they say, making a fist of it with the bat, with the ball, and making the Lions really struggle here now. I'm really curious and interested to see how the likes of Seletswane and Fakude actually get along. Oh, short ball rushing him, but well played. Nicely handled by Seletswane.
We were speaking earlier, Aslam, that Seletswane hasn't really settled himself into the innings yet. He still seems as though he's scratching here and there, trying to find the pace of the pitch. He's 6 and some changeovers into the chase, and probably internally he's feeling a bit of pressure, way behind the scoring rate.
Oh, well, is this angling down the leg side? Has it hit him on the back pad? Immediately umpire says not out, but looked a very good shot from Steerman. We'll get confirmation in a bit. And that looked to me like it hit the back pad. That's why it was such a vociferous appeal. Let's look at it again.
Potentially sliding down the leg side, if anything.
I just wanted confirmation whether it was front or back pad. And if it's a front pad, then maybe the umpire is justified. I thought for a moment in that instant that it was the back pad. Oh, he's gone for the big hit. He's just managed to clear the field out of that inner ring. And that's a shot in desperation. And that's the point you were making now, Tariq. I think what you're seeing basically is the pressure of the situation. And that's why he's in this tentative mood. And maybe a 4-2 stroke like that, had it gone for 4, it may have just settled his nerves. But having just survived an LBW call, all adds to that, the pressure.
Slumps. Seletswane has been sort of standing on the other side, and he's watched Rassie van der Dussen nail 2 out of the middle of his bat. And sort of he seems to struggle. He just can't find the middle of that bat at the moment. So he's trying to grind himself out of that hole that he's sort of dug himself into. I'm pretty sure there's already the pressure of, I'm making my debut. I'm now having to sort of get the innings going after 2 early wickets. And it's been Akona Nyaka who's done the damage for Goldrush Boland. 3 for 12. And it seems as though he's going to be bowled out as well. So Goldrush Boland saying, we're going to get our opening bowlers to have a go at these debutants and continue the pressure on them. This to me is the interesting battle. Quick left arm seamer with his tail up against a debutant at this level.
Well played. Riding the pace quite nicely. This is about the 3rd or 4th time I've seen him actually do that. And that's also a makeup of a top order batsman. When you know the ball is being rushed at you, instead of looking to force the pace and hit in front in that V, as they say, rather let it come into your body, angle it to the side, pick up the single, given the fact that you're 3 down. So that's good to see. Kaya Fakude clearly promises a hell of a lot, continues to make the Lions lineup. And he's actually struggled even at club cricket to maybe register a score of note for his own good. Whereas if you come through with 70s and 80s and maybe the odd 100 in between, you come, when you are selected, you come with this at the back of your mind that I'm in form. So he needs to find that form, and perhaps today, given the fact that his team are in trouble, he's come here in the middle order, he must see this as a great opportunity, you know. Where better to do it than at this level than going back to club cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no better platform for you to find yourself back into the swing of things than right here. I mean, as career club cricketers, you absolutely love it when the pros or those playing first class cricket come down and they play in the club system. Because you start arming yourself with all the chirps to have a go at them.
Yeah. Short and cut. I must say I've been pretty impressed with where, I mean, things are going pretty easy at the moment for the visiting team, the Boland team. But the way Clyde Fortuin has handled his charges, his field placing, I must say so far, obviously he's showing you his experience. But you could so easily lose it from time to time. You know, if the captain is in control and he can demand much of his team, that's really what it's all about, because then you are actually dictating terms. This has been an impressive spell. You know, unlike what we saw, and I'm not saying that Sia Plaike's 3 for 31 wasn't a deserved effort, because he clearly loves to use this wondrous pitch. You more than often see the shorter ball than perhaps the back of a length ball or the slightly fuller length ball to allow the ball to move a bit. But Makanya's spell has been great control, and I think those figures certainly attest to that. 3 for 15 in almost 4 overs. He's about to complete the spell. And it's a powerful looking drive. That's a wonderful response from Fakude. That's a glorious looking off drive to end the over, to end Nyaka's wonderful spell. He's gone for 19 in his 4, and he's been the protagonist for making those early inroads into the Lions' attack. 44 for 3 after 8.
Well, absolutely no respect shown from Fakude to what Nyaka has achieved in this game. Sort of an anticlimax to his bowling for Akona Nyaka. It's almost we've become accustomed to him just having 1s and 2s taken off him and dot balls. And if memory does serve, that was the first and only boundary that he considered. I do stand corrected though. But what an effort that has been from Akona Nyaka. Now it's time for a change in pace. Imran Manak had a good game the other night against the Dragons.
Right arm off breaker. And the one thing he'll enjoy at the Wanderers is being so tall. 64 matches, 53 wickets, 33 years old, good economy rate, best of 4 for 14. And the other night he was handy with the bat. In fact, those 17 runs were the difference, because they won by 9. And that was batting at 8, and then came and made early inroads. In fact, picked up the first 2 wickets that fell. I was about to say, Tariq, is that at the Wanderers, you generally get this, or you are always told that, you know what, it's not so much of a spinner's wicket, but if you use your abilities and your craft well enough, you will pick up wickets on a bouncy track. There's a lot of grass on it, so if we're looking for any turn, would maybe be too optimistic. But Manak has really all been about control. Whenever they've needed him to just quiet things down, or where they needed moments to be getting a semblance of control, he's given the ball. And whilst he's in picture, I will also just mention that he's had his 3rd year in the UK. And this particular season that he's just had in the English summer, he's been taking a handful of wickets, which is not surprising, but more so, his batting has improved remarkably. He had 2 scores of 80 plus, and then in a very important, I think it was a top of the table clash, and playing as an overseas pro with all the pressure, got a magnificent 100. So, and he's always been a batsman, you know, but obviously at first class level, you've got to be really a cut above the rest to be batting in the upper order, or at least in the, let's just say, upper middle or lower middle order. So I see in that last match, as you just mentioned, he actually batted at number 8. First over goes for 5 runs for Manak, 49 for 3, and that after 9 overs, 49 for 3.
Just sort of an over for Seletswane and Fakude, just to get themselves in, just nudging the ball around, rotating the strike nicely. That's sort of when you are behind the 8 ball as a batter, you're probably struggling to find the middle of the bat. That's the sort of overs that can perhaps just kick-start your innings. You just get one, you know, you seeing it nicely, nudging it around. It's another.
This is
look at
the wickets that fell. Yeah. So just quickly, this was Makretu Burgle down the leg side, got a brush with his gloves. Umpire pretty sure of it, and then this is live. We'll get to that in a moment. Score goes up to 50 for 3 here at the beginning of the 10th over. Coming off 56 balls, just 2 4s and 2 6s, as Storik was mentioning. Makanya in again. This time a rising delivery, very straight, and that was the important aspect of that delivery, to have induced a fine edge. And that carried very nicely to Manak at a finish backward point. So I think that was really an organized dismissal, if you ask me, because until then, Van der Dussen certainly looked the part. So at that stage, 2 down for 30. Puerta is the new bowler. Down the track, he comes off the heel. That could easily have been going onto the stumps. Why is he looking to do that, Seletswane? He's played beautifully until now. Trying to charge the bowler, not when your team's in this type of a situation. If you want to take a hold of him, play the orthodox pull shot, cut shot, the drive, and then dictate terms to the bowler what length you want him to bowl. You've got to play into the mind of the bowler. This way, he sees you taking a chance. He walks back to his mark. Definitely encouraged. This is beautifully played. Oh, that's a great hit. It's a hook shot. Short delivery, gets under it and puts it away with aplomb, does Seletswane.
Yeah, will that be the shot that gets Richard Seletswane going? He's been trying to find the middle of the bat all innings long. He's been a bit scratchy, but then gets one from Puerta. It just sits up very nicely for him, and he's allowed to get underneath it. The short boundary to the leg side.
Oh, he's gone for the upshot. There's a fielder trying to cover that. He gets under it, and he's pulled off a great catch. That's an absolute gem of a catch. An overhead catch of real quality, beautifully timed. And that is the 4th wicket down, and Seletswane suck it into the short ball again. Lehan Puerta has got the last laugh. And what a way to go after hitting a most glorious 6. Torik.
Aslam, it seems as though Akona Mnyaka can do absolutely no wrong. He sees that this one's going over his head, starts running back immediately, keeps his head nice and steady. This is one of the hardest catches to take, and he makes it look absolutely easy. Makes it seem as though that this was just catching practice for him. Good pace to get himself all the way to the back. Sort of a carbon copy of the dismissal of Rassie van der Dussen. Both of them Rassie van der Dussen hitting him Nyaka for a 6 deep onto the bank. Very next ball, guys went to short third.
Yeah, he got the straight one. Here's another look at it. This was a little further up, and he already made up his mind that he's going to go for that shorter boundary. Johan, earlier in our session when the Boland were batting, they were obviously all aiming for the shorter boundary. This is exactly what Seletswana is looking to do, but look at this catch again. And as you say, this fellow can't do anything wrong. What a glorious catch. And they're right into this game now. Everything to play for. 61 balls left. 82 needed to win. Pick up another wicket or two within the next 2 or 3 overs. And that does bring in the likes of Jones, Swanepoel and Manak to follow. But Potgieter, the reliable Delano, with a top score of 71, more importantly a strike rate of 132, is the next man in. Mr. Reliable for Lions. From outside the off stump, just neatly plays this away to get off the mark.
Yeah, so you probably feel, Aslam, as though these Potgieter and then Jones and Swanepoel who's to come, that's probably the key for the Lions. That's where all the experience is, that's where the big hits are. When they've been around for quite a while, they've played in numerous T20 competitions around the world. And I actually like the way that the Lions had set their batting lineup out, with the debutants in between all of the experience. And Seletswana was there as an opener. Third in is Rassie van der Dussen, then Mitch van Buren, so you got 2 experienced guys, and then comes Fakude, and then after Fakude is again more experience. So if it had gone the way that the Lions would have wanted, you would have had a debutant being at the crease with an experienced batter. And I mean, who doesn't want to learn from the likes of Rassie van der Dussen in a T20 game?
Absolutely correct. Start of the 11th over. Manak around the wicket to the left-handed Delano Potgieter. Has played a number of rescue acts in his comeback over the last three and a half seasons. Beautifully flighted delivery. Imran Manak does have this, if you watch that wrist carefully, it's a flick when he does deliver. So you see the orthodox one, and then he has this ability to do that as well. And sometimes batsmen think they can read him and realize that there's something else coming out of the hand. Has improved his game remarkably. Very much a mainstay when they pick the T20 squads in Boland.
Yeah, run out here. Bowler, blade. Oh, lady.
Yeah, keeping the pressure on. That's really what it's all about. In the meantime, Fakude and Potgieter need to do the same. When you lose wickets at regular intervals, you keep the opposition in the game. The minute you establish a partnership, things do go a lot differently. A cross-bedded drive through straight mid-off, all the way to long-off for a single. So this is exactly what you're talking about. The likes of Potgieter with young Fakude. To read the situation, and as they say these days in the modern game, is that know what the match situation is. Think about it. I thought that lacked very much in the Boland batting, especially when 2 players who were well set went out the way they did. And there were, and in Frisco Adams' case, there were 5 overs left. And until he went out, he was in complete control of things out in the middle. He had struck 1 4 and 3 6s, so anything short he dispatched. He used that shorter boundary to his advantage, but he also then got caught there because you get overzealous. You want to do too much. Here's the update. 138 eventually all out in exactly 18 overs, with Bottas and Frisco Adams the 2 culprits that I'm talking about. But nevertheless, they're the guys with the good scores. Bas Swanepoel was the key man, 4 for 20 cent. Plaiki coming back again into on his debut here, coming back to the Wanderers and following up his 4-day game with much success. He then picked up 3 for 31. So those were the key wicket takers there. Now in reply, 63 for 4, where Mnyaka has picked up 3 of the 4 wickets that have fallen. We're into the 12th over. 76 needed of 53. Around the wicket is Botha to Potgieter.
Aslam, I feel as though, looking at the dimensions of the field as it stands, which is now Delano Potgieter's offside, the shorter boundaries there. So even if the required run rate gets to 10, 11, you sort of still feel that you're in the game because you can, make up that very, very quickly by making use of that very, very short boundary.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And Delano is quite established. He's an established player at this ground, so he'd know that better than anyone else. But somehow I just feel that, and you see that international level, guys get suckered into that whole thing. We saw it, I think, 3 or 4 dismissals in the Boland innings. We saw that happen. It's a firm push from Fakure. And that ends the over? No, there's still 2 to go.
Leon Botha doesn't seem as though that there's any pressure sort of on his shoulders. He's just getting through the deck, bowling good areas, good tight lines, keeping the DP World Lions batters under pressure.
Short delivery played away. Fakure enjoys this, but he's just fortunate. He's managed to get it just a few meters outside of that mid-wicket fielder reach, and he'll settle for that single.
I've seen a few of those, Aslam, just over the fielders, just over the inner ring, sort of teasing the fielder to say, come, try and catch me, and then landing in no man's land. And Seletswane, when he was in, had a few of those.
Neatly tucked away. He's even found the gap. The timing is absolutely immaculate from Delano Potgieter. He's made it look so easy. Picks up the boundary there. Takes the score along to 69 for 4 at the end of the 12th.
Well, that is what can happen when you time the ball properly. Sort of just a little flick of the wrists from Delano Potgieter. Immediately finds the vacant mid-wicket region. Pretty sure that fielder thought it was coming straight at him. But just that extra bit of flick and turn of the bat.
Looking at that again, that is a class shot. And that's also, the timing is so good because that's the longest boundary this afternoon. You were talking about the shorter boundary to his offside. This was the longer boundary just under the scoreboard to his leg side. And he's played that beautifully. 12 gone, 69 for 4. The countdown clearly now on. 70 needed of 48. And Boland don't necessarily have to bowl this team out. But what they need to do is make sure that they keep things tight. Just to remind our viewers what did happen in the previous match. They only got 148 for 9, but they defended it and beat the Northwest 2 nights back in Paarl. Manakin again.
It's always nice to have that win in the bag when you have to travel up to the Highveld. Sure that the performance that they put in, especially in that second innings, where they sort of fought their way back with the ball. It seemed as though they were down and out, and the Northwest Dragons were going to sort of coast to the victory in the end. All of a sudden, something just happened for Goldrush Boland. And they ended up.
It's nicely timed by Fakure. Immediately on the run, he realized that this certainly was going to beat the inner field. So gets the single. Yeah, in fact, Keith Dudgeon and Steerman were the other two, along with Minnock, that picked up wickets there. Interested to see that Dudgeon's not in the lineup today, because he's one of those quickies who does certainly hit the ball a great distance as well. Perhaps he has some sort of a niggle. Very calmly put away towards the mid-on area for a single by Delano Potgieter. He's on 8. Fakude 15 of 19. Nice compact player. I think he's settled in now, Torik. Nicely played. Just offered a bit of width, so that allowed him to express himself with a neat little touch to the offside.
Yeah, it's got to be the help of Potgieter that's there with him. So we saw that when he was batting there with Selitswane. You sort of felt as though that he looked under pressure for no sort of reason, perhaps because Selitswane himself was under pressure. Two debutants in the situation, having to take the team out of a bit of trouble. But now with Potgieter there, with Fakude, all of a sudden he seems a lot more calm, more in control of his game, knowing exactly where he needs to be. There's Ludwig Schult. He's top of the charts at the moment. He has played 2 games though.
How about Daniel Smith, 307.7 strike rate? None of them have got 100 yet, but that is fantastic. And his 80 so far is the highest score for Western Province. Leon Cachet the other night played a wonderful innings, but unfortunately he was on the losing end of it. Things not going too well for the Titans, but he certainly looks a fantastic prospect. And then Diego Rosier, these days a veteran, up in the numbers there.
Yeah, Aslam, that Daniel Smith innings is from today. Western Province beating the Northwest Dragons by 4 wickets. And it's weird to see, because you wouldn't expect this from Daniel Smith.
Yeah, you consider him a good compact 4-day player.
100%. But his innings of 80, coming off just 26 deliveries, 4 fours and 9 sixes.
What did he have for breakfast? That's the first question I'll ask him.
Surely you've got to find that out. It's the Northwest Dragons, unfortunately for them, that's 2 on the bounce down there in the Western Cape. So immediately under pressure.
Kamane in the meantime, 49 wickets in his 83 innings. Economy rate of 9.25. Well, you know what they say when you play, when they judge you as a batsman, the more you play, the more it reflects your prowess. So he's played 83 matches. That economy rate should at least drop by a percentage, maybe at around 8.25.
Especially when you're bowling in that middle overs as the skipper, you'd want him to keep it a lot more tighter.
Mm-hmm.
Dry up the runs a little bit.
Interesting action as well. I mean, he's already got his left elbow in a brace position long before he's actually approached the popping crease, for the gather and then obviously unleashing the delivery. And keep a keen eye on him. He's now into Delano Potgieter from around the wicket. 64 needed of 39. The pressure will soon begin.
Yeah, it's the old adage of every run counts. It's good commitment shown by the Goldrush Boland fielders.
Ethan Cunningham.
That's really putting his body on the line, getting it just before the line. Good technique. Some guys would have slid there with their feet first, trying to kick the ball back. Seen that happen a few times.
Mm-hmm. Isn't this Delano just a delight to watch? I'm sure listeners are tired of me waxing lyrical about this fellow, because he makes batting look so easy. The hands don't seem to be... There's no aggression in what he does. And I must say, I've said this a few times before, when he does play, his hands come through. He does show that if your balance is right, your head is in a good position, you can play through with your hands, very much like Pollock. Obviously, he doesn't stand that tall. The Pollock I'm talking about, of course, is the great Graham. Again, just tucks this off his hip quite nicely. This is running away. This is another wonderful piece of timing. 4 runs.
Just very unassuming is Potgieter in the middle. As the circumstance dictates that he's probably got to get the ball to the boundary more often than what he has. But what he has done is he's settled the partnership down, he's settled the innings down, and then just with pure timing, able to manipulate the field and find the gaps. Ran hard for the singles.
I must say that was a quality stroke, because you're splitting two gaps in the field, the inner ring and then the two in the outers running their hearts out. Beautiful timing, ends the over, 81 for 4. 58 needed of 36. It's time for Torek to leave us. And I'll be happy to recall Johan to hear what he has to say, what observations he's made. Who's winning this one? It's a low-scoring humdinger once again. Boland perhaps making this a habit. Can they pick up a win? Frisco Adams, first time in the into the attack today at the beginning of the 15th over. He's your death over specialist.
He's got those variations, Frisco Adams. He's got 3 or 4 different slow balls. Bowls a good Yorker as well. Tell you who'll be delighted when he watches this back is Delano Potgieter. To be likened to the great Graham Pollock in his mannerisms and the way he positions himself. There's another left-hander he reminds me a lot of. I'll tell you after this delivery.
Good slower delivery there from Frisco Adams.
Not in the same league as Graham Pollock, but a man that did score 2 one-day international hundreds, and it's Nicky Boyer, former left-arm orthodox bowler. Also got himself nice and low into position and was very risky. Threw the hands outside off, but because he got himself into a decent position.
No, he was certainly very handy with the bat, Nicky. Maybe somewhat underrated as well, but then, you know, when you're a key spinner, you're not going to be asked to be batting at 7 and 8.
Was in the series against New Zealand and South Africa, where Nicky Boyer was used at number 3 for South Africa.
Correct.
Made 200s in that series. There's only one-day international hundreds. Man from Bloemfontein played all his cricket for the Free State, as they were then called.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of Graham Pollock. I watched a lot of Graham Pollock live at this ground. What are you doing, Delano?
As a very avid cricket man, probably one of my biggest regrets is never to have seen Graham Pollock and Barry Richards play for South Africa.
Once we were talking there, the take from the wicketkeeper was quite impressive. 14. Ball skidded through at ground level. Oh, chance gone. Straight at Frisco Adams, easy on his follow through, and Potgieter tells him the check will be in the, or what do they say? The EFT will be done a little later this evening. Frisco Adams, that could have been the turning point. Now, is that the turning point? This let down.
He's got such a short follow through,
yeah.
Frisco Adams, that he had that extra second as well.
In fact, that's a perfect way to describe it. The short follow through, which means he's got time to gather his thoughts and his hands into position. Then bowls one down the leg side. Watch this again. Yeah, he's already stopped, as you say. So that's a fabulous observation. And that's all the more reasons why he should have taken that catch. Watch where he's batting. Right inside the popping crease. And I wonder why. I'll get your thoughts in a moment.
This one's just played through.
Yeah, they're going through for 2.
It's very good running. Very, very good running. There's different ways of chasing a smallish target. One of them is run your opposition off their feet. Make sure you turn ones into twos. With this big boundary, there's big pockets in this outfield. And especially to the big boundary, there's lots of twos on offer. Scorecard, Makwetu gone early. Saletswani hung in there. just as he got going, lost his wicket. Van der Dussen looked to take the attack to Goldrush Boland. But the key here now for Kude, 20 of 26. He needs to get that strike rate up. But Delano Potgieter, you feel Evan Jones and Bayer Swanepoel, all three of them can clear the ropes with ease. And they're going to need a few big blows here towards the end. Get back to that question why it's so deep in the crease. There's two schools of thought if you know the bowlers are going to take the pace off. One is really wait for it. And also I think you might be worried about that Yorker from Farisco Adams. He's known to possess a very good Yorker.
Well, that's the beauty of the game, because it's how an individual reads the situation. Is this well timed? Is it timed well enough? Indeed it is. Once again, it is the most glorious, most effortless, most elegant hit over long on for 6. Superb stroke play.
Wonderful shot. Magnificent. You know, you can run out of adages describing that. It's just a short arm jab. Look at that. He's got such quick hands through the ball, does Delano Potgieter. No wonder he scored the amount of runs he has this year.
He was almost giving up the game 3 seasons back. Short again. He'll get just the single. So 92 for 4. We're into the 16th over. 46 now required of 28. Don't leave it too late, gentlemen. Fakude and Potgieter have now added 36 runs for this 5th wicket.
Bat speed. I'd love to see him hit a golf ball off the tee.
Oh, that's a superb stroke, man.
My observation, Potgieter stays in, Lions win.
Absolutely. No question. Mr. Fakude, what were your intentions there? He wants to get in on the act. But you know what? His act so far has been wonderful. 20 of 27. He's part of a partnership, possibly the biggest one in the match. 36 runs. He needs to hang in there.
He needs a clear mind now, Kaya Fakude.
Yeah.
Don't let the mind get clouded. We've got a big striker on the other end.
Yeah, as you say, I mean, Potgieter is there, so you're banking on him. But the minute there's a new batter in, you have to reorganize yourself. That's a firm-looking hit. Is that going all the way? That's a great stop.
Brilliant fielding. In tandem. Only to the net result. Throwing your body around in T20 cricket. So important in the field. Backing up the bowlers. That's fantastic.
So we'll try and go back to that. That ball was traveling at speed.
Was that the opening bowler?
That was Nyaka again.
Oh, good stop. Good stop. They're good in the field, yeah. This time it's Kaplan. It was Nyaka the ball before.
Well grilled, well organized, with a very experienced coach, an old Boland fellow. That's a very well taken single as well. Justin Ontong, with all of that experience, and then of course the experience of the captain. I think they've really put together a good side. That's the end of the over. Partnership worth 39, 96 for 4 after 16.
No, surprised to see them field like that with Justin Ontong as a coach. Former Protea fielding coach, Justin Ontong.
Correct.
And a son of Boland, as you mentioned. Good crowd here in today at DP World Wanderers. They were very clever in their marketing for this match. The Lions, they had the junior sides capping just before this fixture started. And it's so important for me, Aslam, that franchises and unions get creative in their marketing. We need people on the grounds or at the grounds in South African domestic cricket. Can't just come and watch the SA20. We need to be here throughout the year as well.
Now we've got a very good marketing team, and I think not headed by John O'Leaf Wright, but clearly with his involvement, he's basically on the money. It's a good slower ball to start with, but Fakude just looks so much the part when he plays. I'm not saying he must remain orthodox, but when he's played this tight, compact game, he looks so much the part. And hopefully he's been reminded by Delano in that period between the 2 overs. So, yeah, to have the capping ceremony here, I must tell you that there was possibly about 300 to 400 people. Lots of parents and coaches and teachers and all of them around. And then, of course, players were also here because they needed to receive their caps. So it's a fantastic atmosphere. And they've all, as you say, hung around. They've just spread themselves around this huge ground. Oh, it's a booming drive. But straight to the fielder in the deep.
You're speaking about Fakude, Aslam. And I think batters often get it wrong here at the Bullring. And the reason I say that, it's the kind of ground with orthodox cricket. You can score at 8 and 10 to an over. Lightning outfield, gun wicket. Yes, there's some bounce for the bowlers. Yes, there's some lateral movement. But the ball comes onto the bat and you can score by playing orthodox cricket.
Short and punched. Good looking stroke. There'll be a lot more of that if he'll wait. I just feel that if a wicket falls here, it's going to derail this partnership and also the quest towards the target of 139. Frisco Adams, what can he do? He was wonderful with the bat. He certainly was one of the reasons why they managed to get to a score of 138. And as soon as he went, 3 other wickets fell in quick succession.
I love the way that Goldrush, Boland and the franchise has gone about their things. I've gotten a few journeymen into the Boland setup. Guys with lots of first-class experience, lots of white ball cricket experience in South Africa. Somebody like a Frisco Adams at Clyde Fontaine behind the stumps in the longer format. Piet Malan, playing for them, former Protea opener.
Correct. That's short and that's pulled. There's a fielder under this one. He's backpedaling. He picks up an equally brilliant catch. That's the end of Fakude's innings. Frisco Adams is absolutely delighted. He's cock-a-hoop with the fact that he's got the wicket here. It's fallen at the perfect time as far as Boland are concerned. The Lions will need to rethink this. And Fakude's innings, 24 of 34 balls with just 1 boundary, indicates how well he batted in this partnership. But it's been broken. 98 for 5.
Trouble now for the Lions, as Evan Jones will have to come in and get going straight away. 41 more required, 20 balls remain. Decently struck, but it's a massive boundary out there. And a comfortable catch out in the deep. Just not enough on it from Fakude. And Viecha, the debutant, takes it. Gijsbert Viecha. 41 of 20. It's all in the hands of the 3 all-rounders now. Delano Potgieter, Evan Jones and Bayer Swanepoel. Swanepoel, no mug with the bat. Man, that's scored 189 not out at first-class level. Hits it a long, long way, as does Evan Jones, as does Delano Potgieter.
Well, I love it. I was talking about how Fakude should go about his innings, but this is what the game is all about. Completely unpredictable. And the wicket is out. Misfield. Don't look up until the ball is in your hand. So they run through for 2. Each run now becomes that much more important. Those 2 runs to Evans takes the Lions to 100 for 5 at the end of the 17th over.
So that's 39 from 18. 13 to the over. Some would argue it's 2 hits and over. You can face 4 dots and get a couple of boundaries. Easy game. Short boundary.
Yeah, you always look at statistics and you think, oh, well, that's easy. But then you wonder, how was it all compiled? How did it all come together? So a chat between the two experienced batsmen out in the middle, two all-rounders as you've described them. Now, Ayabulule Kamane has got this responsibility. Can he follow this up with, if not a wicket, a maximum of maybe 7 or 8 runs? They need to score at 13 and over now. The pressure's on. What does Potgieter do in the remaining 3 overs? He does pick up a single to the deep.
In Ayakamane and Frisco Adams, the Goldrush Boland side has 2 real T20 specialists with ball in hand. It's no surprise to see Kamane bowling his second over this late in the proceedings. He is a very, very talented white ball bowler.
Not afraid to show the variety that he does possess. Punched powerfully. It's gone through for 4. I think there was an awkward bounce. It seemed as if it was decently covered by the fielder. All this will count.
He hit that incredibly hard, did Evan Jones. Pitched up, smashed straight through his legs it goes. But it was travelling. Deep in the crease again. Power hitters like to go deep in the crease. They set themselves. And it's Mnyaka who's done some sterling work on that boundary. For once, he makes the mistake.
Now you're right, that was hit pretty hard, and for anything to have passed that fielder, had to be a quality stroke. Powerfully hit. The 4 means that Evan Jones has the strike. Bowled him! Bowled him! It just shows again the importance of picking up wickets when they're absolutely necessary. That's obvious. But we saw that happen in the Boland innings, and now here, and that's his 50th T20 career wicket for Ayabulule Kamane. And what an opportune time it has come for his team. 105 for 6. Jones goes for 1 glorious boundary.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with him walking that far across his stumps. It's such a short boundary. Stand still, Evan Jones. Stand still and hit it into the stands. It was in the slot, and he stood in still. Committed too far outside that off stump, and he paid the price. Now the man that was the hero with the ball in hand, Bayer Swanepoel, will have to partner Delano Potgieter at nearly 14 runs to the over.
You know, when I've watched these power hitters, which is exactly what Evan Jones is, I can understand if top order batsmen who sometimes find it difficult to clear the boundary start doing the lap shot and the reverse sweep and the pedal shot and all of that in order to just keep the scoreboard going. Power hitters just have to stand their ground, watch it carefully and hit. But of course we always know better here from the commentary box, don't we? It's so much more easier from up here. Bayer Swanepoel, his top score 83. His strike rate 156. He's had a wonderful welcome with the ball for the Lions. Can he pull something out of the bag with a bat? Good full length delivery there. They'll run through for 1.
It's a leg by. Bayer Swanepoel with the bat is a bit of an enigma, let me tell you, Aslam Kota. In his second season in first class cricket, he made 189 not out for the Northern Cape Heat. He's one of the purest strikers of a cricket ball that I've ever come across. Spent a season last year having trouble with a short ball and got found out a bit in first class cricket. Got hit a couple of times.
Potgieter standing right back in the crease. This time the fielder is strategically placed for that pull shot.
That's had a bit of a negative influence on his batting. got concussed twice in a season. I don't know if you remember, Stuart Broad used to be a very, very capable number 8 or 9 batter at Test cricket. Got hit a few times, and that negatively impacted his batting. So one hopes Swanepoel has sort of gotten over that.
Down the track, and then he gets this edge, and it'll run away for 4. An unintended stroke. He was clearly looking to hit it somewhere in front of square, but at this rate, or at this stage, the Lions will take it. 18 complete, 111 for 6, 28 needed of 12. Who do Boland go to? Steerman has bowled his 4. Nyaka has bowled his 4. Manak has got 1. Porter has got 1. Kamane has got 2. Adams has got 2. I reckon between the two of them, I'm sure we'll see the finishes. There's the update now. 28 runs needed of the remaining 2 overs. Can Delano Potgieter play something quite special to get his team out of this rut and score a win in their first time out for the season?
Deep in his crease again, Potgieter.
That's a good firm hit. That's going to go for 4. Class stroke.
Jeez, he hits it cleanly. He hits it so cleanly, Delano Potgieter.
Perfect way to start the over when you need 24 to win.
How much do they want to get in that last over? That's the question. In the slot, it has to be said. But you still have to take care of them.
Just watch how still he is when he does execute. He's well back in his crease now. Even further back, I reckon. At least by another width of another boot. Oh, there was one for the taking.
Furusco Adams followed through. It's getting shorter and shorter. He's going to stop before the crease the next delivery.
Well, that was a good comeback delivery in the end, because after 4 of the first, a dot ball in the second, maybe just equalizes things a bit. Can he now go one better? But Gitter's wicket is the difference between winning and losing. Oh, is it a wide? No.
It's not a wide, it's not a no ball. It's a fair delivery. It was a bit of a gift to Delano Potgieter, but I think it caught him by surprise, in fact, which so often happens with those full tosses.
Yeah, he knows it better than the two of us.
That was the previous delivery, a real goodie.
Oh, that was a real gift. Good stump height, you could have hit it anywhere around the ground.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
This is why he's bowling in the death overs for Furusco Adams. His first over was after the 15th of the innings. Absolutely brilliant. Just give our viewers a quick idea of what the field is like for Adams. He's got a deep extra cover, deep backward point, short point, or short third man on the edge, short fine leg, backward square leg in the inner circle. There's a deep mid wicket and a long on and a long off as well. Where does he look for the runs now? Hitting it powerfully. It'll be just a single. This is fantastic bowling by Furusco Adams.
This is what I love in the death. Plans are clear. Field is set for the plan. He's gonna bowl Yorkers. That's what he's gonna bowl. That's why third man and fine leg is in the circle, and he's just keeping it simple and executing his plan. There's not been 6 variations bowled in this over. He's kept it simple. He's bowled his variations earlier.
That's right. Beautiful delivery. What did that miss? Everything else. It didn't hit the stumps, but he's finished this over magnificently after going for 4 of the first delivery. Just another single. So 5 runs off it, and now 23 needed of 6. This has been a fantastic fighting performance from Boland team. They're beginning to show exactly why they were able to defend the score in the previous match. And the responsibility now to defend 23 runs is on the shoulders of the very tall Imran Manak, orthodox off-spin bowler. And he will be bowling to start with to Delano Potgieter.
Not sure how that last delivery missed the stumps of Swanepoel. It's just his lucky day, I suppose. Cricket has a funny way of making commentators look average at times. We said if Delano Potgieter stays in, it's an easy victory for the Lions. He's still in. It's all but easy. They need 23 of 1 over.
I just think that the captain has handled his charges perfectly. The field placing has been immaculate. You've had to really work hard to clear the boundary or at least force it past the boundary. This is a good clean hit all the way for 6.
It's a good start. It's a good start by Potgieter. 17 now, 5. Pressure all of a sudden on Manak.
Where does he bowl the next ball? Went for the quicker delivery. It was angling down the leg side. How about that footwork from Delano Potgieter? Shimming a little to the leg side, giving himself enough room to hit that over the top. Does the same again. Has he found the gap? He beats the gap. 4 more runs. 13 needed of 4. Short ball from Manak, looking to follow the batsman, and Potgieter was one better and found the gap as well.
Now Manak has questions in his mind because he's not bowled 2 poor deliveries. He's done what he wanted to do. He's following the batter, trying to cramp him, but Potgieter with quick feet.
Go! Bouncy!
They'll get to pretty easily. Swanepoel will sprint back and leave the strike to Potgieter, but now it's 3 balls and they need 11 to win. There has to be a 6 or a 4 of this delivery if they are to stay in this contest. What does Manak dish up now? That's it, skipper. Take your time. Get it right. That's really what it's all about.
Theatre.
Short delivery. Dug in there. He's begging for 1, but they're going to turn for the second. No. Wisely keeping him there. But now it's up to Swanepoel. And Potgieter realizes that perhaps with that single that accrued, the game is now, is it lost? We've seen miracles from this position. Can Swanepoel actually pull it out of the bag and be our man of the match? With his 4 wickets for 27.
He strikes it clean, Delano Potgieter. He's done his part in this over. Now it's up to Beyers Swanepoel. 10 needed of 2 deliveries.
Here's the decider delivery.
Come on!
No run. Done. And almost dusted. 1 ball remains. They need 10. And this has been an absolutely brilliant performance from Boland. Defending a low total at the Wanderers. Just 139 was the target. And they've kept themselves in the game. And it was
bowled.
Yeah, it was all about the early strikes from both bowlers, but I think more so in defense of that total of 138. Here's a victory to certainly celebrate. A wonderful start to their campaign away from home. They were good at home in their opening match. Now they come and the defending champions have been beaten. Not comprehensively, but in fine style, with lots of grit in the way they went about their cricket today. They never let up the pressure at all. All of the bowlers supported each other. And as Johan has been emphasizing, the fielding has been absolutely exceptional. And that is why they will run out the winners. So Potgieter remains not out 46 of 29. He unfortunately didn't get support from the lower order. Fakude, just when things were looking good in that partnership, hold out. And I think that was the turning point. Swanepoel, unfortunately unable to do much. Evan Jones was a one-hit wonder, and Kamane was the man who picked up the wicket at that stage to make sure that his team stayed in the game.
Clinton Stearman was good up front, got some swing. Akona Mnyaka bowled with good aggression and good pace. Liam Botha, he'll play a lot of cricket for this Goldrush Boland outfit. Imran Manak had the responsibility of bowling that final over after 3 very good overs. but it was probably Ayakamane and Frisco Adams right at the death. Frisco Adams, 1 over, or 1 for 14 of 3 overs. He bowled his first over in the 15th over, and to go at less than 5 and over in the death, something very, very special indeed. Goldrush Boland continue their fine season with a T20 victory over the defending champions, the DP World Lions.
This is how the wickets fell. The first to go was Makwetu Burgle down the leg side. And then the second wicket to fall, this was the big hits, of course, from Rassie van der Dussen. And the very next delivery, this was the end of Mitchell van Buren with a short ball. And then Puerta coming in to see the end of Seletswane. A fantastic overhead catch.
Such a good fielder, Akona Mnyaka, for an opening bowler. And Seletswane thought he might just get going. Struggled to start off with. He was 20 of 22 when he got out. But Kaya Fakude took on the long boundary. Didn't quite succeed. And as you said, Aslam, might just well have been the turning point, because from there on, Delano Potgieter struggled for a partner.
Absolutely. This was the end of Evan Jones, moving too far across. Again, aiming for that short boundary. And how many, at least a half a dozen batsmen have actually fallen into that trap, looking for the shorter boundary and eventually giving the upper hand to the bowling team. It's been a fantastic match. The Boland team winning, were sent into bat after the Lions won the toss. They were only able to muster 138, and that too after being 31 for 4, 70 for 5, and then also 114 for 6. They then lost wickets very quickly. Within another 15 runs, they lost another 4, and they posted 138. But it was all about the way they bowled. They came back with a vengeance and led by Mnyaka's superb opening spell. And that set the cat amongst the pigeons. That set the tone. And there was great bowling from the likes of Adams, Puerta and Kamani, as you can see, that made sure that they won by the narrowest of margins. Just 8 runs to win in this low-scoring match. And DP World Lions' opening fixture has gone against them. Negative in points, a very positive performance from Boland. So that will be about it from the team here, from Johan, myself, and of course Tariq. And hopefully we'll be talking to you soon over the Pitch Vision screen and also YouTube. Until then, it's goodbye from the team and the technical team. Leah and his boys.